and this is everything I wanted, my own movie series finally. In middle school, I learned how to edit between two VCRs. So I would take all my favorite movies, TV shows, stunts. I would take all the car crashes out of one movie and I'd put it all together. So I would make like a 20-minute montage from different TV shows and stuff. Like this is in the 90s, so it's like Cannonball Run 2, Speed Zone, The Wraith, Blues Brothers, of course. But I didn't have the capability of editing and music, so I had a little cassette player. I would sit next to the TV. I'll pick out some crazy like driving songs like Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. And so I'd have my friends and family sit on the couch and I would push play on the cassette deck and the VCR at the same time. I had to get the timing right to sync them up. I wanted to direct action movies. I wanted to produce action movies. I actually wanted to do my own stunts. So I figured, what, the only way I can do that is to go to art school. I majored in film and video at Art Institute of Pittsburgh. When I graduated, I didn't go to California. I moved back to Maryland. I learned that you need to know people to get a job in Hollywood. So I was kind of depressed about that because I was so excited to go to California after graduating. But it worked out while attending AIP. I had an internship with autobuzz.com. And they were like one of the first online magazines. And this had to be 97, 98. And this is back in the day where nobody had digital cameras. So you'd go and take pictures of a car show, send the film to like Kmart or something, get the film developed a week later, then sitting there and having to scan each photo into the website. Before I graduated, I edited together a movie called No Limits, and it was a VHS movie for Autobuzz, and it was pretty much all the event coverage we did the year before. So it was my first official movie in '99. When I moved home, I got a film-related job at a duplication house. I would unload 1,000 VCRs. It was a nightmare, but I used it to my advantage because I was working on Accelerate, which was my second movie with Autobuzz, and I was able to make free duplications at work, and then I would sell my movies out of the trunk of my Mazda. One day we went down to the Nopi Nationals in 2001. We won the Super Street Tour. My car was on the cover of PlayStation's game, Midnight Club, so I had my car in the Sony PlayStation 2 booth, so we're selling my VHS tape out of the trunk of the car there. After the event, I didn't know there was a guy named Sean Murphy, and he owned Porn Star Clothing at the time. He fell in love with this movie. He's like, I'd love to take your video and re-edit it and make it a porn star racing video. This is awesome. I've always wanted to produce my own series. That was the whole point of doing this, selling out of the trunk of my car. And I was so excited, like, cool, I can finally quit this job. And then he came back we're gonna give you like 10 cents a movie, or something ridiculous royalties. And I was just like, I'd rather just stay here loading VCRs. So I'm like, okay, no, thank you. Came back to me a couple months later and said, hey, look, okay, story is I owned Porn Star Clothing. I sold it off. The new guys that came in and bought Porn Star kept me on as a marketing director. Then when we got back from Nopi, he got fired from his own company. I guess the guy was some young guy. He fired all the original people and he hired all his college buddies to run the company. So he's like, look, let's start our own company. Came up with a name called Teckademics. And our first product will be your movie. I'm gonna give you a chance to, you produce your own series, let's partner up, and this is everything I wanted, my own movie series finally, and we're gonna put it to DVD. It was a dream come true then. It was life-changing. So the name Mischief was actually a chapter in the Accelerate movie. The chapter was pretty much crazy driving, burnouts, donuts, stunts, and it was the perfect name for the series, Mischief. And in 2001, I met this crazy guy named Dado. It was through some mutual friends. We were going to car shows, and it was at a car show, and this guy, I was like, this European guy is a really nice yellow M3, and I met him, and I thought he was stuck up at first, but he's just quiet. He's a quiet person. And we'd go on these BMW drives, and I was watching the way he was driving. I'm like, this guy can drive. I never seen anything like it. He can whip his M3 around everything. And every weekend we'd go to car races, we'd go to car events, car shows, and with my brother and a bunch of other people. We became friends, became roommates, and then he became the star of the Mischief series. It's just amazing at how we two came together and created this series that it's sold worldwide. And it's for just meeting Dad on being this really quiet guy, and then absolute nut job behind the wheel of a car. It was like the match made in heaven. We wanted it to look raw and gritty. Sean used to produce skateboard movies, and that's how it was. It's like Jackass. Jackass was inspiration because it was raw and gritty. The viewer felt like they were there. They were at the street race too. They're running with us. We're scared. And the idea caught on. People loved it. And it was such Amazing timing that our DVD hit store shelves at the same time Fast and Furious had their first DVD hit store shelves. So, you go to Best Buy, Circuit City, Tower Records, whatever, and you'll see people are going nuts over the Fast and Furious movie being there. So they're venturing on, and they see our movie, the covers, my Mazda, special interest sports section, street racing, and it just sold like crazy because we had no competition. I'm so happy we were like the first ones to come out with something like this. The first Mischief was so successful, we sold over 150,000 units, and it was unheard of for a special interest DVD, especially with something we didn't, I think I maybe spent maybe $5,000 on it. It was so cheap to produce, and our distributors was like, this is freaking amazing, we want you to release another movie right away. But the problem was, it took me about 2 years to put the first Mischief together because we took the best scenes out of my first two movies, No Limits and Accelerate, and then that's how we sold it. So they came back at us, would come out with another movie as soon as possible. They still wanted, it was 2002, they wanted another release in 2002. And so that's when we were freaking out, what do we do? How can we possibly top this? But what really put us on the map was Mischief 3000, and that's when we covered the Gumball 3000. Nobody's ever seen anything like that before. After Mischief 3000 became a huge success and became one of the top 10 selling motorsports DVDs in the world, we came out with a couple more movies. After our first Mischief, the storyline became, Dado and I would go on a rally. And that was the main story, and then every other chapter would be different stunts and different shows that we'd cover. So out of all the 7 movies I produced, I think the one I hated was Mischief Assault, our 6th movie. And it was kind of a flop because a number of things. So we had 2 rallies lined up for Mischief Assault. And one of them was called the Candy Cane Rally through Europe. Every day we'd finish at a strip club, we'd get a lap dance, and when we were done, we'd be presented like a key. And I'm not sure where this key came from, but we'd be presented to a key, and then at the end of the rally, there was a box containing like $50,000. So whoever got the winning key from the stripper would win $50,000. And that was like the whole point of this rally. Never took off. There was another rally that was called the Casino Rally, and that was nothing like the Candy Cane Rally, but you were racing through casinos across the United States. And that fizzed out. We were on a schedule to come out with a movie with Warner Brothers, with Destroy Studios. We had to release a movie. So it was basically Mischief without a rally story, and I hated it. But by that time, 05, 06, DVD market was dying. So we were actually outlasting our distributors because they started dying, and the stores started closing, It was 2007, I left Teckademics, the company I helped create because of creative differences between me and Sean, and I continued the Mischief series without him, and our 7th movie was Mischief 7 Joyride. It didn't do too well because I didn't have distribution, but that was my first movie outside of Teckademic. I haven't produced a movie since then. I got sick, had a couple of stomach operations, but I'm fine now, I'm better. Looking over the past years of everything that we've done and getting emails and messages even after we haven't released a movie in 8 years saying, hey, you inspired us to do this, or you inspired us to do our own YouTube channel or start this company, and I find it humbling. It's an amazing feeling that we were able to inspire so many people. And now they have their kids watching this series, and we're a little more mature now. Dado has 3 kids, and all the crazy driving and all the stuff that we got away with, we're not like that anymore. We had to grow out of it because, we were so lucky over 16 years not having one single bad accident. We didn't cause any accidents. Nobody got hurt. I don't think that a series like Mischief could survive nowadays. Like if we started Mischief this year, remember we started before social media, and there was a lot less traffic back then, and now if somebody started it, as soon as you get on the highway, people are calling the police, people are shooting video, got your license plate number, everybody gangs up on you on social media. They can't wait to get a person in trouble. They want to be a part of the story, and we were really lucky to start Mischief before all that. I'm just glad that most of the press have been positive. Mischief has been inspiring. It didn't teach people how to run away from police. It just taught people to, hey, have fun with your car. No matter if you have a Mazda, MX-6, or M3 or a Lamborghini, just enjoy what you have with your friends. Just enjoy life.